Fantastic. And who's our guest today? We have her again, right?
Yep, we're very happy to have Dr. Luisa back with us again. And yes, I do have some questions about your book. We were talking about very private things in your life, which you've made it public. So what really went through your mind to make that shift from keeping these things private to getting them out?
Well, first, I would like to thank you both for having me back in your show. It is an honor, and I was very looking forward to have a sequel to this. Um, Answering that question, well, it's the self-inflicted limitations that I like to speak of. It's the idea that we don't matter, that we are alone, and how much shame will be for us to start opening ourselves and be vulnerable. But really, it is in our strength to show our vulnerability because this is how we help one another. When you open up and you show to the world that you too have gone through trials and tribulations and trauma and abuse, people are going to come back to you and be like, I'm not alone. I am too here to share my story, and somebody else will not judge me, but truly comes and say, I am here. Me too. Count me in, help me out, and I will help you too. And that's what drove me to open up and say, the truth should come out. The truth is like oil, I like to say. It always comes to the top.
Oh,
Well, it's a
wow.
brave thing, and I can see why you did it, and it makes perfect sense.
Absolutely. And Doc, I think it's awesome is everyone's story leads to their next journey. And I think that sounds like Dr. Lisa, what she's dealt with first when she was brick and mortar to then becoming virtual, right, Doc?
It's so
Well,
true. It's so much true in that. In 2019, when my former employer closed the practice I used to run here in San Antonio, closed their doors forever due to financial considerations, I was at a crossroads, whether to go and just get just yet another job, right? Just become employed again, or start something new, start something that it was my opportunity to either start it then or never. And then I noticed how the two inspirations of mine actually are coming together. The desire to help people physically as a physician, to help them regain their health, and then through my story and my journey, to help them spiritually and mentally in their mental wellness journey. So at Telemed MFM, which is really telehealth in maternal fetal medicine or high risk pregnancy, we start with the end in mind, which is the best possible outcome for the pregnancy, the best possible outcome for you and your baby.
well, that's one of the things that I fell in love with when I was a student back in 1975. That is the ability to see, pregnancy and the outcome is a blank slate. It's not like many other health conditions where you're trying to fix something that's broken. In this in this time, you can walk through with your patient and you can choose the very best outcomes. And that works 98% of the time. So
And
yes, I can see why you like this.
yeah, the other 2% of time you just give it to us, right? But you're right, Doc. It's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful, beautiful specialty. For the most part, it's laden with good outcomes. Yes, they are. A lot of them are very challenging, but I am up to a challenge. I'm always, always happy to take on a challenge. And I think that that's what drives me to maternal fetal medicine. I have extremely high risk pregnancies in my practice that I run. And it's like, when I give that mom a healthy baby, when I give the family, the mom who is very, very high risk herself, when I give them a healthy mom back, it's so full of joy and reward in my mind. Um, Telemedicine part, it's to me came to the idea that, hey, we want to give telemedicine solutions to a broader vision. COVID moved us forward about 10 years. I finished fellowship back in 2013. And I remember those days when I was like, how can we reach more people? I mean, there are people that we can reach out there without them having to drive hours and hours to see us, right?
Yeah.
For a half an hour consultation or an hour consultation. So when COVID hit, we just brought us fast forward 10 years and say, you know what? You guys got to have to do this. So here we are in 2019 having to deal with it. And I, the former practice that I used to run, I was the first medical director of both Pediatrics Medical Group and ComHealth that put together a long-lasting telemedicine practice. It was a hybrid practice in maternal-fetal medicine. So I had physicians on the ground. I had a whole cadre of nurse practitioners, and then I also had physicians that would see both outpatients and inpatients virtually through telehealth. Okay, so then when COVID went away, we continued to do it, and we continued to do this hybrid approach all the way until that practice closed. So you see how it wasn't something that, I wonder, let me just dip myself into this telemedicine and see if it works. I already had the experience. I used to do it and work with providers around me that we implemented it. So I knew how to run a business like this. So this time around, I just decided to open my own.
I think it's fantastic. So it's only, you see only pregnant women that,
Correct.
so it's only pregnant. So it's
No,
not,
no, I have to take that back. Actually, it is preconception counseling, which is high risk women who are not pregnant, who desire pregnancy, or who
mm,
had pregnancy in the past and now they have difficulty getting pregnant. So that is preconception. So before pregnancy, I'm counseling them how to best navigate and that also get their health optimized in view of their upcoming pregnancy. And
wow.
then is the
Wow.
pregnant patient
Well,
with
we have somebody to talk to you about later on, but Doc, I mean, that's great, right? That's an area that's really becoming a problem in conceiving right now. Women more than ever, it's becoming an issue, right, Doc?
Yeah,
for many reasons.
yeah. I have a question. I think one of the fun parts of prenatal care is trying to get to know mom, dad, and all the other kids. The whole family. I always had them come in. But one of the fun things is dealing with uh, potential problems. For example, depression. I think the prenatal course is a wonderful opportunity to either mitigate depression or just eliminate it for most moms. How do you feel that or do that with your, through your telemedicine courses?
I do. You're right, depression, mental disorders, mental health, it is becoming more and more prevalent. Depression, anxiety, PTSD, bipolar, all this, diagnosis. So ACOG and Society for Maternal Fetal Medicine both endorse, treatment for moms who have these disorders. For the really, one of the reasons is we want to keep the moms healthy, and we call it euthymic, meaning they are mentally, balanced. Not only during pregnancy, where they have so many changes in their hormones, but also postpartum, because here you are, a mom that already has some, mental wellness diagnosis. You take them off these medications, or they stop their medication, and then postpartum depression hits or postpartum psychosis. And that is not good or conducive for mom and for baby. especially, as we move. I mean, we're talking about 40% chance for relapsing in postpartum period in depression and anxiety and psychosis. It's actually a medical emergency. Alan knows about that as well.
Oh, yes, it certainly is. It's you don't have to look too far. NPR and ProPublica have a lot of maternal mortality, depression and suicide, psychosis, homicide.
Mhm.
They have a lot of those.
Yeah, you're correct. So another thing that my practice does, it's just think when you think of maternal fetal medicine and telemedicine in general, really, is that we try to optimize maternal access to care, also to keep moms close to their family in their local areas, local hospital. Not all moms that are high risk need to be delivered in an urban area. Not all these moms need to come to level 4 hospitals 50 miles, 100 miles away from their hometown. And then, do not deliver in their local area surrounded by their family. Or after delivery, they'll have to leave their babies there sometimes, and then they can go home. I mean, you don't want to split the mom from the baby.
Right.
So that is extremely important. Or you can continue their care up until 36 weeks, 37 weeks gestation. For some of these pregnancies, they can be led all the way close to delivery and then delivered at a tertiary center. Again, every pregnancy is different. Every mom and baby's care and diagnosis are different. But to me, the idea is the online consultations will be able to reach the underserved. They will be able to reduce delay in evaluation and treatment, and also help the local obstetricians and the local hospitals.
Sure.
Because think about it, if the hospitals cannot and are not encouraged to keep their patients in the local area because the obstetricians have no maternal fetal medicine support or specialist support, if this is not MFM, guess what's going to happen? Those hospitals are closing their labor and deliveries.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So you have to be a need for them, especially if they can't get to one of them and they have to drive 2 hours away. And that
Mhm.
really involves the rural medicine, the challenges the rural medicine's having, Dr. Lisa.
It is, definitely.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, I think it's really a great need. So do you do this? How many doctors do you have working for your telemedicine?
So we are in the works to contract another several physicians in the specialty because we have several other contracts that we are closing into, and opening the potential to be able to serve other communities, not just one or two. So we are expanding as we speak. I'm very excited about that because that is the need, and we have to embrace the need, not that you just reject it and say, well, we'll just take care of it later. How did we do it until now? Why can't we do it from here on then? And my response is, why don't you just start using a buggy to work, right? Or we can use the telegraph system. Why are we doing an Apple phone or or any type of electronic equipment? We just can use the telegram or just use the horses or the doves to send us a message, right? Because we've done it all this time. They don't like when I say that.
No, I can understand that. Though you really do have um, the ideal training, the ideal degree for telemedicine. Your MFM, I think, does really well on telemedicine because you've got these ultrasounds. You spend a lot of time on ultrasounds. You spend a lot of time going over ultrasounds with your patients.
We
So
do.
this is really ideal. Not any there's not any area that would use that more than you do.
I agree with you, Alan. And not only that is the fact that, I mean, we practice full scope. Well, let's say 99.5% full scope. And why do I say that? It's the procedures. And really with this time and age, with all this prenatal screening testing, the rates for CBS and amniocentesis, which are the diagnostics genetics, been going really, really low in frequency, right? But other than that, I mean, I'm not just reading ultrasounds. I'm just not reading non-stress tests. I'm doing it all. I'm doing full-fledged consultations. I am doing any type of evaluation, fetal and maternal. All my team, all our teams are on the ground. I am the one person who speaks to the patient through the camera, through telehealth.
Do
But I
you
have a whole cadre on the ground.
supervise amniocentesis from your position?
No, I do not. So that is my next point. At the point of a hybrid telemedicine practice, it's going to be the way of the future. Why? Because it's only so few of us. There is about 1,300 maternal fetal medicine specialists that are boarded at this time, and out of which only about 1,000 of us are working full time in a country of 59 million women who at any point can be pregnant.
Wow. All right.
Isn't it
Well,
crazy?
yeah, it's crazy. You're doing such great stuff. Where can people find information on you?
So you can find out more about me and my practice at Telemed MFM, which is TELEMED, Mary Foxtrot Mary at .com actually. And I am right there. I have a full-fledged website. You can also get in touch with me through a contact form. There are interviews that is also on the website. There is also patient articles about how we manage different disorders and conditions. So it's a wealth of information. I'm always happy to assist with questions. So very, 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 very proud of my practice and this particular venue that I went with my profession.
Fantastic. Well, we appreciate you coming by and such great conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both.
very
All
much.
right. That was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and Doc Tales, guys. Take